Hey there everybody, welcome back to Fly Tying for Beginners. As always, my name is David. Today we're going to be tying just a regular all-purpose nymph. It can be tied one way, but it'll imitate either a stonefly nymph or a mayfly nymph. It's really just this one pattern imitates a bunch of different nymphs. Not a whole bunch of materials to this one, just like all the other ones. We try and keep it simple here on this web series. What you are going to need, you're going to need either a nymph hook. I'm using a size 12 today. You're going to need a bit of pheasant tail, a little bit of partridge soft hackle, or really any kind of soft hackle will work. I like the coloration on the partridge soft hackle myself. Olive dubbing. I'm using tan tying thread today. This is one of the few patterns where the color of the thread actually does matter, at least in my opinion. If all you have is black or another color, tie it with that. I wouldn't use like a red or anything like that, but tie it with what you've got. That's the main thing, is just get the fly tied. But like I said, I'm using a tan today. I'm also going to be using a tan dubbing. I'm also going to use a gold tinsel here. Not very much of this. We're only going to need about 4 inches of it or so. One little thing like this lasts for quite a while doing different kinds of flies. You're going to need your scissors, your fly head cement, and your dubbing needle as well, just like with all the rest of our other flies. And let's move on over to the vise and let's start to tie this. Alright, as you can see, I've already got our hook in the vise, and I've already tied in my thread and moved it all the way down to right at the bend of the hook, which is where you want it to be for when we tie in our first material, which is the partridge soft hackle. What I do is I clip the very tip of that off, lay it right at the bend in the hook, and tie that material in, making sure that we bring our thread back down right to where we tied it in, because our next material to go on is going to be the tinsel. Like I said, about 4 inches or so of this. Right, and just lay that on and tie it in just like with every other material that we use. And for now, it's just going to stay off the back there. We'll come back to it later on, if I could tie it in right. Let's try this again. There we go. Helps when you actually grab the material with your thread. But as I was saying, for now, that is just going to stay right off of the end there. We'll come back to it later on, because next comes the dubbing. Well, like I said, I'm using an olive dubbing for this one today. I'm going to get my pinch of dubbing, pull myself out some thread, and start to twist on my dubbing. Remember, when you're twisting on dubbing, to always twist in the same direction, because that'll actually spin the dubbing onto your fly tying thread. If you go back and forth, it won't put it onto the thread. It'll just basically, just clump all up and not really be useful at all. So once you get that spun onto your thread fairly tight, you can go ahead and start to make my wraps. I'm actually going to wrap this about 2/3 of the way up the fly body. And it's going to be a fairly big bodied fly. Alright, and then once you've got that up to that point, the next step is going to be to actually take our tinsel, and we're going to take it and just do a couple loose wraps around the body. You don't want these wraps very tight. You're not, it's not like you're wrapping lead wire around a woolly bugger or anything like that. Just fairly open wraps until you get to the front of your dubbing. And tie in the tinsel, and then just trim your excess. This just makes the body look like it has ribbing on it, which a lot of nymph stages have on them. They've got ribbing along their body, so that's what this is supposed to look like. And then you're going to take your pheasant tail here. And again, trim off about maybe a 1/4 of an inch section of feather there. You can tie that in. Trim the excess that's going to be to the eye of the hook side. Get more olive dubbing, because now we're going to make the head, well, what's the beginning part of what will be the head for this pattern. Twist your dubbing onto your thread like normal. Down. And then build up the head there, right towards the eye of the hook. But you're going to want to do a little crossover move there to get your thread right behind the eye of the hook. Because now what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the pheasant tail and fold it over the head that we just created with the dubbing, and then tie that in right behind the eye of the hook. So that I'm not sure if you can see from this angle or not, but I'll show you a top view of it once we get done. You've got that bit, you know, going right over the top of it there. And then you're just going to trim your excess. Finish your fly with your half hitches or your whip finish, whichever you prefer. And then I won't do it in this video because I'm actually out of fly head cement right now. But at this point you'll finish it just like you finish all the other flies that we've done in the series. If you need instruction on how to actually do this step, go back and watch one of my other videos. You'll take your dubbing needle, get a little bit of fly head cement on there, and then just touch it to the knots, and that'll secure everything in place. Show you the top view so you can see this is where that pheasant tail feather came across, made a nice thorax look to it, and you can see the gold ribbing in there, and then this is our tail coming off. Take it out of the vise just to show you what the entire thing looks like. This is your fly right here. It's like I said, it's a nymph, so it's a wet fly. Naturally weighted though, there's no added weight to this, so it's a fairly slow sinker. Great for, you know, slow drifts or things like that where you don't really need to get your fly down, you know, to the bottom very fast or anything like that. Slow currents, relatively still waters, things like that. It works great. It's very easy to fish with, very easy to tie. Just need a couple. Pheasant tail is a little bit expensive, but as you can see, you don't use much of it, so you can get plenty of fly patterns with, you know, just one nice big pheasant tail like I have here. So that's our all-purpose nymph. If you tie this pattern, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Let me know if you caught anything on it, how easy it was to tie, or, you know, any comments or suggestions that I could have maybe explained things a little better, anything like that. I just would love to hear feedback from the people actually watching these videos. But yeah, so let me know if you've got any patterns that you would like to see me tie, or maybe you've seen on TV or seen in magazines, but just you're more of a visual learner, so you'd like to see like a step-by-step video rather than like a magazine instructions or things like that. That's personally how I learn best. So that's why I started to make these videos, is for learners like myself. Let me know in the comments. We'll try my best. If it's not a pattern that I've done before, I'll try my best to work it out and then put it on film and put it up so that hopefully you can see and you'll be able to tie that pattern yourself. Please like this video if you enjoy what I do. Subscribe to my channel for more how-to and outdoor videos. There's also a baking show on there that I do now. Just basically any skill or trait that I happen to possess, I put on video. I really enjoy making instructional videos and trying to just kind of pass my knowledge along to the general public. So like or subscribe to my channel, please. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have fun fishing. I'm glad you woke up at the end of that video. Oh, I know. Come here. What you doing? What you doing, buddy? This is the guy when you hear the toenails clicking in the background of my videos. This is him. This is Sawyer. This is my bud. Anywho, thanks for watching.